Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Unfortunately, I don't have some very good news to report on today. I have some very tragic and horrific news coming out of Nigeria. Now, we know that Easter is just around the corner. Good Friday is this coming Friday, and Christians all over the world are preparing for this very holy week. And over in Nigeria, Christians were celebrating, they were preparing. And well, Muslims don't want that to happen. Everywhere in the world, Muslims are ramping up marches, they're ramping up protests. They're also, in some countries, they're ramping up killings. And that's exactly what happened to over 60 Christians in Nigeria. That's the initial report. So over 60 Christians were killed by Fulani Muslims. They have murdered more than 60 Christians in a series of coordinated attacks across 7 Christian communities in Nigeria as Holy Week begins. And you won't see the media really report on any of this, believe it or not. It doesn't fit their mainstream narrative, does it? This is actually tragic news, but you won't see many of the popular right-wing Christians talk about this. I'd love to see Tucker Carlson refer to this, Candace Owens, Jack Shields. Jake Shields, whatever the hell his name is. I love to see Christians all around the world that have a huge following. I love to see them talk about this, but I don't think you will. Once again, it doesn't fit their narrative as much as it doesn't fit the mainstream's narrative. How are they any different? This is becoming a huge problem around the world. And if we do not speak up about it, it is going to continue happening. If something is not done about these atrocities, it is going to keep happening. The more attention you bring to light on issues like this, and the more stories get told about what the realities and the horrific aspects of what's actually taking place at the hands of Islamists or Muslims, the more people are actually going to start going, enough is enough. No more of this. We understand that Islam is a death cult. We don't want any more Christians to be beheaded or killed in the name of Islam. That's exactly what's going on. So the reason why I'm making these videos is to bring awareness to these issues, because the mainstream media won't. And all the big Christians, or that claim that they're Christians, they won't do it. I know Ali Bestaki will do it because she's, as far as I'm aware, a good Christian lady. I know Seth Dillon would more than likely do it if they find out about this. But the more we bring attention to these kinds of issues and the more people start to realize that this is unacceptable, then hopefully, Lord willing, these attacks will stop because they'll start protecting the Christians. And that's exactly what they need to do. The government needs to go, we can't have these senseless acts of violence and killings going on in Christian communities. We need to put a stop to it. So we need to protect them. I'm not holding my breath, but at least it is something. If we speak about it, if we let everyone know, it's a lot better than being silent. Now, I don't have the biggest audience in the world, but at least I can do something. At least I've got a voice. Governor Caleb Mutfwang called the bloody assaults in Bokos County, Plateau State, the G word, in what is just the latest in a years long war waged by Islamists against Christians across Africa in general and Nigeria in particular. Latest terror attacks, which targeted villages, left over 1,000 Christians displaced and 383 homes destroyed, according to community leader Marin Aradong. These armed Muslim Fulani herdsmen invaded our communities in large numbers. Dear, oh dear. This is just really sad. And well, the mainstream media, I saw this on ABC News, but you really won't see much more other media companies reporting on this. And this is like ABC News from the world stage, not like the mainstream stage. And the story is quite hidden. So that's another problem as well. Attack by gunmen leaves at least 40. There's over 60. So they got the facts wrong. people dead in Nigeria, the country's president says. Nigeria's president said that at least 40 people were killed when Muslim gunmen, well, I'm glad that they included the fact that they were Muslim, believed to be herders, attacked a Christian farming community in the north central part of the country. The latest in more increasingly sectarian violence that's going on over there. And to be fair, or to really start calling out lots of these popular or famous Christians, mostly Christian by name, but not by action, that are silent on this. Why are you silent? Are you silent because you're siding with the Muslims, or are you silent because you actually don't care? Why are you silent? You have the biggest platform, or one of the biggest platforms in the world, to reach people and let them know that this is unacceptable, and yet you're silent. You know, I don't get it. I really don't. They're too busy focusing in on Christ is King. That's become a proverbial dog whistle at the moment, rather than actually telling stories that really matter, rather than telling the truth. They're more interested or concerned about whether or not Harvey Weinstein is innocent, and rather than telling the world that Christians are being persecuted and killed over in Nigeria or other countries. It's intriguing. Like, why? It makes me think. You call yourself a Christian, but yet you won't call out the atrocities that are happening to Christians at the hands of Muslims. I think the vast majority of Candace's audience and several others that claim to be on the far right, the woke dingbat right, they're only by name. They'll call it out and they'll say Christ is King whenever they feel like it. I don't know if you've noticed as well, but they use it pretty much as like a signature now, like the hashtag Christ is King in pretty much all their posts. And it's just like, why? But yet you're more than happy to do that because you've got ulterior motives to doing it, but you won't speak about the atrocities that are going on in the world at the hands of Muslims that are killing Christians. Shame on you. And you call yourself a Christian. Anyway, that's enough from me, but pray for our brothers and sisters that are being persecuted over in many countries at the moment at the hands of Muslims. You guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.